Okay, greetings guys, wherever you're watching this video from. This is Texman, and this is another video of my, documentary. Okay, so this is GBP USD on a weekly time frame. Actually, we don't have to do much on a weekly time frame, since you've seen a break already, right? There's already a break. Now, what do we look for? I mean, this break tells us that price is gonna have to continue, except when we are changing direction. So now, all we are looking for is a continuation, all right? And now price is kind of retracing. Right? Price has been retracing since June. All right, pretty nice. So we head back to the you know daily time frame. We head down to the daily time frame to see what's really happening on a daily time frame. And on a daily time frame, we could see that price has been, as said before, retracing. You've had two legs created. All right, you've had you've had a high. Sorry, you've had a high. All right, you've had a higher low. Sorry, a high, a low. All right, yeah, a lower high, and then a lower low. Now price is retracing back upwards. All right. The main reason for this retracement, all right, in my opinion, is to come down for this area right here, to come down for this low. And when price came this low, it couldn't. That was last week, wasn't it? Yeah. Price couldn't take it out. All right. These lows couldn't be taken, and that turned out to be an equal low, which is kind of a very strong magnet for price to pull back down towards until it's grabbed before we continue buying. Okay, and these two legs that has been formed, these two legs that has been formed here, since there was no liquidity taking over here, since price didn't take any liquidity from here, we expect this low, sorry, this lower high to be a target, right? Which means all these all these pullbacks, all right, are expected to take out this high over here, and then after it's been taken, we continue back to these equal lows, take them out before we continue buying, before the main move. All right, so I think from this from this leg, from this high to this low, I think it's going to be kind of you know a long journey for us, causing lots of choppiness and all, except you scalp. Okay, let's actually focus on why we're making this video. So i'll I'll actually be looking out for buys this week. I mean, until these highs are grabbed. Okay, and then once this high is taken, I'll be looking for a confirmation to get back down. Okay, expect lower prices to this point right here. So what am I going to do? All right, now price is here. What are we doing? Right, we could see that there was some kind of supply over here that failed to push price lower. Okay, so now we move to a 4 hours time frame. On a 4 hourly time frame, we could see this is what's actually happening. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, we have this. What's going on? We have this right here. We have this supply here failing. All right, and when supply fails, supply and demand says that when supply fails, fuck. It says that when supply fails, all right, it turns into a demand. Not just that, all right. There has to be some reason for price to actually turn, for a supply or a demand flip to, do the opposite when price comes back into it after it's filled. All right, that is when it's significant enough. And the significance of this comes from when price breaks a low. All right, when a point is breaking. So this area right here broke this low. That makes it significance in my opinion. So I would say that since price failed here, all right, failed to sell from this point. Since price failed to sell from this point, all right, we should expect price to get back up when it taps into this. All right. So what am I going to do now? What I'm going to do now is I'll be using, was it last Thursday's New York low. All right. This was the lows that New York created. So you get down to the 4 hours time frame. All right. And still having in mind that our overall target is this high right here. Okay. This is our overall target. So whatever we do, we shouldn't let our guard down. That is, if price takes out this high, anything concerning buys has nothing to do with us. Okay, so now we refine this. All right, we refine it into some kind of fewer candles, and then this is it. This is last Thursday's Asian low. Sorry, New York low, and I would expect my market to, I would expect price to come as low as this. All right, that's looking for buys as low as this. Grab these lows and then give us a buy confirmation. All right. And once my confirmation is given, all I'll have to do is nothing but execution. All right. So, and this happens, I would like to put my entry here and expect market to do this. So that's just that. Okay. I'll leave it like this. I'll keep you guys posted. All right. So anything that happens, you'll know about it. All right. So thank you for watching. Peace out. Okay, so GBP USD couldn't sweep this low before pumping. All right. So what I'm now going to look out for is a pullback. All right, and that pullback should either take this and give me the confirmation, or pull back to this area right here and then break this high as well. Why is that? Because price took out liquidity over here. All right, we see liquidity was taken over here. Liquidity have been taken over here. So I'll expect price to pull back a little bit, break this high as well. So I'll be using this area as my entry point, expecting price to come this low and then pumping to take the buy side liquidity over there. So it's either this happens, all right. It's either this happens, okay. Sorry, it's either this happens or we get um, um we get the sweep and then the confirmation, so we can buy from here. So now it's two areas I'm looking at, okay, because this area right here looks very obvious. All right, it looks very obvious to me that price could just come down into this, all right, and then pump. taking out this highs, breaking this high over here. And after this high is broken, if price doesn't take out the buy side liquidity before dumping, I'll be buying from this area. All right, and then targeting the buy side liquidity. Okay, which is 1.35888. Okay, so this is what I'll be looking out for on GBP USD. See what happens. There hasn't been any trade on GU since the beginning of the week. All right, and it's still cool. We are still waiting. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll keep you guys posted. Okay, the last time I expected GBP USD to give me a confirmation around here. Okay, so I can get in and target this high, since that was the target. I mean, that was what price was pulling towards. All right, but I think price has taken on this high already. Not very much, but since it's been touched, I don't think there's any reason to be using it as a target anymore. Okay, nonetheless, I'll still be interested in any form of buy price. I mean, the market gives me. Okay, because although price has taken up our buy side liquidity, all right. Although we've taken out our buy side liquidity, price can give us some form of extra pushes before coming back lower. Okay, so that being possible, I'll still be interested in this area over here, but more carefully, because when price takes out liquidity like this, all right, when price takes out liquidity and breaks structure, this high is very vulnerable. And why is that? Because there's no structural liquidity around here. All right, so this is the break of structure. This is a sweep from this low to this high. There has to be some kind of pullback. All right, something around here that will be used as liquidity. All right, because when there's nothing like this, people will be interested in buying from here. All right, buying from this area right here. All right, and that makes this area kind of very vulnerable. That would most likely market would most likely come as low as this, take it all out, and then keep pumping. Okay, so that being possible, I'll be extra careful looking for these buys. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is look for an extra confirmation over here before getting it. Or if that doesn't happen, I'll be interested in this previous setup I had. All right, taking everything out, because and I think this is very much possible. All right, due to the fact that liquidity was taken here. Okay, liquidity was taken here. There was a break of structure. So this area right here, okay, this area right here is kind of vulnerable in my opinion. Why do I say so? Why do I say so? Because as I illustrated before, all right, as I illustrated before, when liquidity is taken and then there is a break, all right. If market doesn't give us a structural liquidity around here, all right, to buy from, okay, to buy from, market will most likely come for this low. Sorry, market would most likely come for this low over here. All right, this will be an inducement liquidity, because there will be people interested in buying from this point since liquidity was taken. All right, this is why most of the times you get taken out and then price tends to go your way after you've been stopped out. Okay, so what I'll be doing is paying extra attention, using laser focus, because kind of funny but possible that market would, you know I don't know what's going to happen. All right, but based on my experience and my opinion, I think this area is the most how do I even say, significant compared to the two. Okay, so compared to this, I'll say this area is more significant. All right, nonetheless, I'll be looking out for the two. Okay, If price doesn't give me any confirmation around here, any confirmation around here, okay, if price doesn't give me any confirmation, any buy confirmation around here, I'll be interested in buying from this demand. And it was actually a flip. It's actually a flip point. All right, it was a supply that failed, and now it's turned to demand. And price has never touched it. All right, after it was breached. So I think it's more significant. All right, and most likely that price will come down, taking it out. All right, taking it out before what's going on. Taking it out. Oh my God. All right, price will come down, taking it out before giving us that buy intent. Okay, but then our targets, as I said, I'm going to be very, very careful with it because liquidity over here, which is the buy side, has been taken out, and there is nothing left for price to go up there for. Okay, so all we have to do is wait since there's been nothing to trade. It's Thursday, alright, still nothing, no trade yet. I think that's part of it too. So I'll keep you guys posted if I see anything. Thank you. USD again, as always. This is the weekly time frame. Target has been achieved, alright, as anticipated. Although I couldn't get the opportunity to get in, alright, but target has been achieved. So now what? Okay, now that target for this little push has been achieved, what do we do? Get down to 4 hours time frame. You can see that there was an area here. Let me bring this up. This area, of support failed around this point. Okay, support failed around this point. Couldn't hold. The market ran through it aggressively with this candle. Okay, market ran through it, and after market did that, price has never touched this flipped zone again. Okay, so what that tells me is that this area is still significant. Okay, and also this week's low was formed very close to that flip zone. Okay, tells me more, gives me extra confluence and extra confidence that there is a likelihood, all right, a high chance of price taking out this whole low and then giving us some short-term buys. Okay, that's if price doesn't intend to go any higher. All right, so we don't know what's gonna happen. So let's just sit and wait. Also, I expected price to give us a confirmation here. I expected a confirmation around this area. Okay, I expected a confirmation around this area. So I'll be buying from here. Okay, but then looking at the situation at hand, this area doesn't look significant to me. It actually smells vulnerable. Why do I say so? Because when liquidity is grabbed, based on the system I use, when liquidity is grabbed, all right, and then there is a break, unless price gives us a structural liquidity, okay, although there was a sweep here, okay, and then there's a break here as well, but if price doesn't give you a structural liquidity where you place your buy entry below, all right, and then expect market to take that structural liquidity out and pump, okay, if that does not happen, price would most likely come for that low, right, come for the low that's where the liquidity. This is what I mean. Liquidity was taken here, okay. We took liquidity here, okay, and this is the lowest point that price formed within the week. Liquidity was taken. This is the low, which we would consider as a protected area. Okay. And then after liquidity was taken, we had a breakout structure. Okay, so this whole thing from this low to this high forms a swing point. Okay, but there has to be an area, an obvious V shape. Okay, within this swing point. Why? Because from this V shape, there will definitely be a candle where early traders, all right, would like to get in. Okay, early buyers would like to get in, expecting price to do what? Pump when it gets to the other block or whatever they may be calling it. Okay, but then the truth is, this V shape is actually a lure, right? Getting early traders into the market and then taking them all out to mitigate this point. Okay, and then buy again, taking them all out to mitigate this. Okay, to mitigate this and then keep buying. That's what most likely happens. So since there hasn't been any obvious V shape within this leg, I'm no more interested in it. This low looks vulnerable to me. All right, and this flip zone below that low, okay, makes it more um, um, um obvious. All right, it makes it more obvious that this area is the next target. Okay, so we take it out and then we look for buys. Okay, we look for buys. That's it. We just don't have to target above that, this high, above this high, because that would be unwise. Why do I say so? Because this actually took out liquidity, makes this area kind of strong enough to not have price go there again. Okay, that's what I think. In my opinion, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what the market is going to do. I don't control it. So actually, it's us, all right, who control the market, but I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just saying. Okay, that's based on my experience. So next week, here's what I'll be doing. I'll just be sitting behind, expecting price to get down. All right, take this out, and then give me a bullish intent. Once that bullish intent is given, I'll be interested in buying this low. Okay, buying from this low. I would like to put my stops below this, targeting just 3 hour. Okay, so that's it. That's all. There's nothing more, there's nothing less. I would like to see if price gets here. So I'll look for a short term buy. If this area fails, I'll then flip looking for sales, targeting this low. Okay, that's just it. That's just it. Thank you for watching. I'll keep you updated next week. See you.